guys. So today is another one of those. I have what's left from the last yeah, the last mini album I did. And so I have a few larger pieces which I will do something different with, but I have a bunch of tiny pieces. And so I pulled out a punch, and it's got the little ticket and it's got a bigger ticket. And right now I'm working on the little ticket, and I might do one with a bigger ticket, but I might switch it to something else. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with this. I'm putting it on black, so I think it's going to look really cool. And here's the starting of it. Let's see if it will. So I love the pattern that it makes by putting the pieces together. I'm trying to get it so it'll focus. I guess it's focused. It looks like it's focused. All right, so I am not going to have you stand around and look at all this boring stuff while I just do this. So when I come back to do something else, then we'll have a little chat. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and punch out what I need to finish this to show you what I had in mind on that. And I'll be back in a second. Hello, all you brother and sister crafters out there. All right, so like I said, I had taken this and just cut out the smaller one of the little stamps, and I put them all. Now, it did take a little bit of time, but I did it while I was watching TV with my husband, so I think it came out really cute. Now, you could do this with a whole sheet of paper and then use it for stuff, and I'm going to do that with some of it. And then I had some little tidbits left over from the cuttings. I put them there, and I had some more strips that I had done before I did this. And this is what I have left of my little strips, and they're just too small and not enough to do stuff. And then I have this little bit here, and that is it. That is all I have left of the paper. So we're going to see what we can do with all of this, because our goal is to get rid of it all. Get rid of it. Okay, now this was actually a longer strip, and I cut that out. Isn't that cute? And you can't tell by looking that there's a dozen different little papers in there. It just all blends so nicely. So I got that one. With this, I'm going to, I think I'd like it to be angled. I think that would be really interesting. So then this is love. So I'm going to cut this out, and I'm going to cut some stuff out of these two, and I'll be back in a second. You guys are going to absolutely kill me. And actually, I had started filming this before I even got the holes in, but I didn't turn my microphone on. So I stopped, deleted it so I didn't have to look at it later, and started the video again, you know, with the microphone on this time. Well, there you go. All you guys missed was that this die cut was done from the papers that I showed you, that with the little, and they really just turned out really cute. And this is a piece on watercolor paper, and I watercolored this several years ago. I've got quite a few of these things that I just never do anything with, and I thought, oh, let me make them card size, and then I can make quick cards. Well, I'm starting to, you know, I figured, well, let me get some of those out. And I'm just going to lay this right down here, but I want to raise this end up so that this end isn't like sticking up in the air and this flat. So let me get I use the Stampin' Up! Dimensionals mainly because I was a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator many years ago, and I had a gajillion of these. You know, when you teach, you know, you go into people's homes or you teach classes or anything like that, you have to have quite a few because it's all part of, I always had everything, but not everybody gets into the Stampin' Up! Stuff. It definitely is expensive, but anyway. Okay. So, as you can see, I'm building this up, so it's going to be, I am so sorry, my allergies. I actually had to break down and take some allergy medicine today, because, woo, it was pretty bad. So it's evening time before I even start getting on with you guys, because it was really bad today. So I will pull aside. Let me go ahead and show you this one, and I can talk about it while I'm pulling all these little things off. Now this little girl is another one that is with Copic markers, I believe. This one was watercolors, and I fussy cut her out. This is a die cut that I have. I can't remember what it's called, but it's just a Sizzix or one of them, and it's got the little stitching around it, so I like that. And then I did a dream in just a gray and then a black, and I put the black behind it to give it a little bit of a pop. And there's black in her dress, so I just thought, and then I just ran a little bow, tied a little bow, and then ran the two ends underneath this piece, and so I got that. And then this one, I did a die cut of the LOVE out of this paper, and that one I have not done yet. I forgot I had it sitting over there. And then I did it again in the black, and I put the black one and formed this around it. And I just took some, what do you call that stuff? Floss. And stuck it, just wrapped it around the L. And then I have the two hearts that were also cut out of the paper. So it's all matching. Pretty neat. All matching. So that was that one. And then I have this one. The Happy Birthday was the item that was cut out of the paper. So I got a lot out of that one sheet of paper. And this was pencil drawing. And I took some stickles and put it on my cupcake and the flame where he's lighting the candles. Oh, I'm horrible at this. On a little pink bow, there's actually 2 holes in the watercolor. Oh, no, this is multimedia paper. There's 2 little holes, and I tied a nice bow. And then I just took a piece of the ribbon and put it down so that I would actually kind of hook the birthday to it. So that was that one. See, I just make simple things. I know I've seen people making some just absolutely gorgeous cards. I'm just not that person. Not that person. It's just, I don't know. You go through all of this work and people throw them away, you know. I mean, it took me a while to do all this artwork. So anyway, I mean, it's not a horrible long amount, but so there's those. And inside here, I had these 2 die cut. This is, it is vellum. And I had die cut these out, and I just thought, let me put these on something. So I just decided to put those in on this one. I thought it looked good. Okay, and I'm just going to show you this other one. Oh, and here, this is my favorite things, stitched jumbo fishtail. So that's what these for the little girl. That's these. Okay, and then obviously I hadn't put it back yet, so I still had it. And then this one, I don't know what color I'm going to put it on or anything else, but and I was playing around with ribbon, but that's just really cute. And you can't really get it up nice and close. You can't really see the lines. It's just beautiful. Okay, so I will probably make another card out of that, and if I do, I'll show you during a different video or something. Okay, so now what I am going to do, I keep my notes. I'm working on 2 different projects here, so I've got to keep everything straight. Okay, so I have this frame, and it's not very pretty. It's not. I got it at a garage sale. There's no glass or plastic or anything in it, and I just thought I don't like the outside, but I thought, you know, how interesting would it be to change this up a little bit and decorate it, and then maybe find a cute picture that'll fit around my decoration. So basically I got this probably an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper would work just fine for this. I'm just going to cut this down a little bit. Let's see, where's that rip? Let me see what I ended up with here. So 10. So 8.5 by 10. And I think this will work for me. And I probably will keep this sheet and maybe even cover that. I don't know. I might cover that with just a solid color. I have a lot of green left. That was my last piece of gray. So I'll see if I can cover this with the green. And that's it for my solids. I've used everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the rest of these pieces and parts that I have, and get this all down. Now I'm probably going to not utilize these pieces, and I'll come up with something for that later. But all the rest of this stuff, I'm going to try and go ahead and use it on here, and then we're going to recover this. So join me in just a second. Like magic, I will have this done. Just to check back with you, the first thing I'm going to do is lay this on my paper in the center, and I'm going to just take my pencil and just kind of make myself a square, because I know that that is pretty much going to be cut. Now I am going to want to cover this, but I don't really need to put paper on in the, you know, all the way in the center on this thing. So like, you know, if I were to glue this, I'd probably glue it down like that. You know, and I'd take another piece and glue it across the line, but I don't have to go all the way in to the center. And you don't have to go all the way to the outside either, but I probably will go ahead and do that, because once you go to, you see, you'll go to wrap this. I want to be able to just cut off where I want to cut off, okay? Because I do have these little things, and they're screwed in, so I will probably unscrew them. I just hope that they will go back in after I'm done. I believe this is just chipboard. A chipboard box, so I might just bring it around and glue just around the edges. I don't think I'm going to mess with these, because I think once I take them out, they ain't going back in. So that's what I'm going to do. I just wanted to let you guys know that you don't need to. You'll just cut and tear all of that, but you do want to, you know, bring it down. You do want to bring it down the depth. Because this will be cut. Let me see. This will be cut like this, so these triangles will come down and wrap around. So you know, you probably can leave just this center section with nothing on it. All right, you want to at least from here the thickness of whatever frame you're going to wrap. All right. Back in a second. Okay, so I finished what I was doing, and I just wanted to show you these few little pieces that I have left out of the entire paper pack that I am finally going to say I am done with and throw them away. So, not bad. Just not bad at all. That's getting your money's worth. All right, so don't know why this came down. Okay, so here's my paper, and there's just a little bit of center, and there's really no up or down on this thing, so I'm going to flip it around, and I'm going to draw the same square that I drew before, and I'm kind of using the end of my pencil so that it kind of stays away from the actual edge. And now I'm going to poke my scissor. Now you want to wait until yours is completely dry, and this is mostly dry, but I'm going to poke my scissor in the center here, and I'm going to cut down to a point. And this might go in further, but for right now I'm just cutting it. Get in there. That might be a wet spot. To the point. And then I've got some die cuts that I cut out. All right, last one. Okay. So now we're going to put this back in there, and yes, I am going to have to cut out to the points. Okay, so I put my scissors where I want. I mean, I put my mark where I want. I'm not going to go quite as deep on that first one because I think I got a little carried away. And you do want to keep the same angle as you're going into this. All right, so now let's see where we're at here. And we're going to start pulling these around. We still need a little bit more. I think that one might be all right. Okay, don't just, grab and rip. You want to make sure that you're okay. So that one's good. This one's good. Sorry for my head, guys. I have to see in here to see if I'm ripping the paper. Okay, I think I've got this all really well. So, first thing I'm going to do is trim off a little bit, because I don't want to go past these little jobbies, so I need to trim off a little bit more. Okay, yep, that's going to work. Trying to get it straight is hard enough, let alone while I'm... Okay, a little bit more here. There we go. Now this one will be relatively easy because mostly it's just paper, just the white paper. That'll work. And this one, oh, I moved it. Oh, darn it. And this one, let's cut this one down. Good. Okay, I think that, yeah. All right, so I guess let's do some, get all this out of the way. Let's just do some score tape. And we're gonna do it across the top, as close to the top as I can get without okay, and then another one, and I am going to also use glue. You don't want this to hang over the edge, so okay. Let's see. I think for right now, that's all I'm going to do. Let's burnish. I've got a little bit of overage here and there. Okay. I do have where I would like to have one be more on the top. And this is the top, just so I can keep it straight. There is no top or bottom to this right at the moment. All right, I'm going to set this in right at the cut, right where the paper is cut to. And I'm pulling that around, And now I'm going to put some glue and bring that score tape around, and I'm still going to have to cut a little bit. There we go. Actually, I am not going to be able to bring it all the way down. It has to be cut at this juncture here. So this is where I'm going to have to cut it. And it'll be much better, I think. Of course, now that I've got it like this, I'm going to have to use my scissors. Because this little notch here in the chipboard is where the frame sits. I mean the back sits. So I can't cover that up or there won't be anything for this to sit in. Okay. So, more than likely, I'm just going to take my pencil and I'm going to draw, and I'm going to try and just cut this with my okay. Let's see how well that did. Oh yeah, very good, very good. It's much neater than let's see. I'm just putting it up against that and just trying to draw a line. Okay. Okay. And that's good. And then we're going to do the same thing here, and I'm just going to go from the corner of this flap that I just cut and the corner of this flap I just cut and kind of match them up. There we go. Okay. And that looks a lot neater. And I'm going to take the tape off and I'm going to put glue where the tape is not and pull it up. Tape up. Tape backing off. Tape up. What the heck does that mean, Lisa? Tape up. Okay. And we're just pulling that around, getting it on there nice and tight. And the score tape on there helps so you don't have to sit and hold it. But you do have to keep an eye on it and make sure your edges are getting down and such. All right. Okay. And last one. All right. So there is the beginnings. See, that one did get just ever so slightly. And I do have a few spots here, so I can pull some of my pieces out and try and fill those in. But because of the way I'm going to decorate it, I'm not going to really have to worry about that. Okay. now, I do not have this glued on the top here at all, so I'm going to go ahead and glue one side down. Rubbing all of the old glue off my fingers. Okay, so you want to make sure that's gluing all the way down to the edge. Now I'm going to do, let's see. I'm going to grab and hold this edge that I just did and get some glue into this side piece just right here. And if you find some paper that didn't get glued down all the way, glue it back. There we go. Alright, now I'm going to grab this end that is the first end that I glued, and I'm just putting it to here. Got a little bit of tear. I'm going to fix that. Bend that back over. There we go. A little piece here. Is that? Oh, that's good. And then this is the last piece. And I'm just going to glue this down. All right. Oh, that piece. I got another piece up. And that happens when you're paper piecing a little bit. It will be just fine. There we go. And just make sure you're got the paper that you're making sure it's nice and tight. I've got so much glue on my fingers, and as I rub, it's just all coming off in little bundles. Okay. All right. So now what we're going to do is, I really need to let this dry for a minute. I am going to let this dry for a minute, guys, and then I'll come back to you, okay? Okay, so now what I have done, I'm bringing you along for the other two sides, but I measured the depth that I needed to fold around, and then the depth that I needed to fold around here. And basically I am at just less than one inch. So then I'm just laying my ruler against the frame, taking my pencil and making a mark in between the 7/8 and the 1 inch. I'm getting that. It's 15/16 if that helps you out any. And so, and in centimeters you would do the same thing, whatever you're covering. You would just figure out what it is. Make yourself a couple marks so you can get a straight line. And then give it a cut. There we go. And then the last one here. And then we're going to have to mess with our corners a little bit. Alrighty. I've had this frame for quite some time, wondering what the heck I was going to do with it, because I didn't like the color of it. I kind of got it at a garage sale with a couple other things. Oh, we got a piece of paper here that is not really stuck down very well. Let me get a little bit in there. I don't think there's a, nope, nothing coming out. Hold on. Good morning, glue. Good morning. So I welcome back everybody to my channel. Thank you so much for watching and leaving some comments. I've been having a couple of nice comments. Sure would love more. I'm bored, guys. Oh, goodness. So I'm going to let that dry for a second and we'll start on a second one. I think what I'll do is I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm going to give myself a little burnish to try and help that paper. Now I'm getting a pretty good amount of pressure on there. So I really want to try and help this paper go around the corner without doing a lot of standing up and cracking like you saw. Now, on the corners, see if we pull this around, make sure it's not the one. We pull this around like this. We're going to have this, and then what are you going to do with it? So you can cut right at the edge of the frame, cut straight across, so that then this can fold this way, or you can, you know, whatever side you start with. So I am going to lay my ruler right down next to the frame, and I'm going to cut from the frame base out to the side, and I'm going to do that on both sides here. So I'm going to leave these two short and these two long. So now, let's see, I need to cut here. So I'm going to have to do it backwards. I am so sorry. All right, and then this one. All right. So now we're going to take the long ones, which are at opposite ends, and we're going to do them first. All right. Oh, that's the one that I'm still waiting to dry. Doggone it. Let me burnish that down again. Let that one dry. We're going to come do this one. Okay. And we're going to have to bend this around the edge. Pull it around all the corners. And let's go ahead. Now, a couple of these have lifted up. Oh, that one actually tore a little bit. So I'm going to put a little bit of paper in there. I guess because it's just a thin piece of copy paper, probably would have been a better choice to to use a little bit more of a cardstock instead of copy paper. So if you're just watching this, I would say make that change. I'm putting score tape on the very edge because that is the part that's going to need the most traction, because it's only going to come over 1/8 of an inch or so on the edge. Remember, don't pull your score tape. You don't want to stretch it. Let's get this little piece. With this little piece. And this little piece. Okay. See, I think I will also put this around the kind of the center. That's where I'm putting it. Let's see if it's catching it. Yeah. So that's where I'm putting it, is right in the center, just to give it a little extra hold. Now let's burnish everything down. Make sure you get very good adhesion with no air bubbles. All right, that looks pretty good. We're also going to use glue. And let's see, this is the side that I can start on. So I'm going to put glue right like we do. Let's go ahead and take this off. And take this one off. And then we're going to glue around where there is no tape. Come on. And I'm going to put some glue right on the edge. All right. Sounds like my little dog's got to go outside. So now I'm going to roll it. And that tape will help hold it. And then I'm going to roll this. Over the edge. And give that a little hold. All right. And I'm going to go take my little dog out, and then I will be back. Okay, so I was recording, but I didn't turn my my microphone on, so I will walk you through what I've already done. And so this little edge that is here also was hanging out over the edge that I pushed down. So I cut right at the edge of the frame. I cut a little strip. And if you can see right there, you can see that little strip. I cut part of it off and then I pushed it right down along the frame. And then this piece I rolled over the frame. And that's how I did all of these. This little piece goes underneath and comes right along the edge of the frame. And then this piece goes over the top of it. So that's what I did on all 4 pieces. And then I just did this one over here. So I've got my little clamps going on. So I will do this one with you. We're going to take our tape backing off. Got a little hangover there. All right. We're going to put glue on these parts right here as well, where the paper has been folded over, because there's nothing that's going to keep that closed besides glue at this point. Oh, I didn't do my edge first. Here we go. And then let's get here, here, and then right along the edge up top. Okay, we do want to make sure that we have those corners with glue on them. And then you can either push it with your fingers or lay it over, however. Well, I think, there we go. There we go. A little bit of burnishing. There we go. It makes for very nice corners. All right, now we're just going to fold this over. And I did take this score tape off. Let's make sure that we have this edge down and fold this over. And this one I'm just going to have to hold for a few minutes. I could have left myself a little bit more. I could have done an entire inch and been much happier. Much happier. But that's okay. That's okay. We'll get it done. We still have to decorate it. Now, I did take the backing piece that had the little picture of the women in it, and I covered that with paper. All right, let me see if I can move some of these. Kind of share. All right. Now I am going to, let me go ahead and cut this. Got a mess on my scissors. Let me cut this out. I got some die cuts from the other paper that I did, where I did all those little tickets. And we're going to decorate this with that. There we go. Didn't that turn out pretty? Love it. Love it. Okay, now I'm going to get a piece that's going to go around here, and I need about, I think I'm going to use these strips that I have left. I think I can get enough of them out. So I want to go from this end to this end. Make my cut. And then I believe this is straight. Not really. Oh, yeah, no, it's not straight. I knew that one wasn't, but I thought this one kind of was, but no, it's not. Okay, so let's put this on a line and get that side straight. And now let's put this on a line and get that straight. Now those two can get tossed. And now I want to cut this at a 1/2 inch. Which for me is the metal part. Alright, so there's 2 of those. And I believe you're going to find the same. Because I'm believing this is a true square. Yeah. So let's just use this. Cut it down. Okay, and I believe let's see. Let me straighten up the top here. And now let's see, I have a straight side there. And then let me straighten. I'm just wanting to make sure I have 1 inch left. Let me go ahead and put this right on the inch mark. Cut off what I don't need and then put it on the 1/2 inch mark. And there we go. All right. Okay. I'm hoping that this 1/2 inch mark is going to be okay. Yeah, I think I'm just not going to glue right where that piece goes. So I will be just fine. Where'd I put all of them? There's 1, 2, 3. Uh-oh. 1, 2, 3. Okay, guys, where'd you see it go? Did it fall? No. Okay. Where'd it go? Help me. Marco. Is that one? Yes. Holy Hannah, I threw it away. Ay, chihuahua. It's hard to find good help these days, people. Oh my gosh. My son is so blessed to have a job. He's working at McDonald's right now. It was the first job that he got a hold of, and it was right as this COVID stuff was starting. And he said, you know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and take it. And then, it'll give me time to actually go around and find something that I'm more interested in doing. But thank goodness he did that, because he's had a job this whole time. And that is fantastic. Would he make more if he was off? Probably so. But he said he'd go nuts if he didn't have his job. He'd go nuts. He's not a sit-at-home kind of guy. He likes to be doing stuff, and you know, right now you're pretty much supposed to be sitting at home. And guys, please be careful when they open things up. It doesn't really matter what your political thoughts are or anything, but just please be careful. Keep your social distancing going, and wear a mask. We're crafters. We should be able to make some. I told my husband that the other day. I said, I really should be making us some masks. We wear them all the time, but you know, they're still pretty hard to find. So sometimes we're wearing them 2 and 3 times. The last doctor's office I went to, they gave me an extra one. I said, gosh, I'm so sorry that I don't have one to wear. So she gave me the one to wear, and then she gave me an extra one to stick in my purse. I said, thank you, because we were out. So that saved my buns. So God bless all you nurses and doctors out there. Whew. You guys, well, you know, there'd be a lot more deaths if you guys weren't doing what you were doing. So thank you. And be kind to everybody that's working right now, because they're taking their own life into their hands. Whether you believe that or not, they might, and they're still going to work. So be kind to them. Give everybody an extra thank you. I was thinking of making little gift boxes. I have a little single treat box, and putting a candy of some kind in it, and just having them to hand out to people that, you know, are stuck having to work, don't have the option to stay home, can't afford to stay home, you know, whatever the circumstance is. Okay. All right, let's see where we're sitting here. And I am going to check on this da-ding, da-ding, ding, because my son is waiting for his house to close, and he is driving us nuts. Every time he gets on a break, he's blasting us with emails. Anything on the house yet? Anything on the house yet? Like, no. So that was that little da-ding, da-ding was a little comment from the realtor. Sorry, I was very thirsty. And she said some progress, but the problem is the title company can't get access to all the information they need because of, you know, some people are not working. So they're slowly getting this stuff pulled together. Now I am actually putting a little bit more glue underneath and glue on top of these strips, and whoops, and then I'm going to take this strip and glue it like I normally would any strip of paper all around the edges and once down the middle. Oh, except for the middle right in the center. I am putting the glue on the edge, but not in the middle. And then we're just going to glue this down. And make sure it doesn't go over the edge. You don't want to see it from the side. You just are neatening up the back a little bit and also supporting this little edge that we've got. So would it have been better just to leave this longer and bring it over? Yes. But this way I can still make sure that I can use my little hooky guys. Okay. And then we're going to do the same thing all the way around. Make sure you're staying on the edge and that you're paying attention where not to put glue. So I'm going to put my finger where not to put glue on the inside. Oh, and then let me make sure I've got any spots still sitting up and some extra glue along here. Okay, make sure, yeah. And make sure that still is workable. Good. And that's really going to help that to stay laying down. There we go. Just 2 more. I'm going to go ahead and get these done, and I'll be right back.
Okay, I tightened my frame just a little bit so you could see better what I had. So, now this broke, but this is a magnet, so I will not throw this away without pulling that magnet out of there, so I'll have it. And I will also keep this little piece of metal, because who knows when that might come in handy. But that's a crafter's hoarder kind of thing for you. Okay, I just had to add that little tidbit in. That's how we end up with so much stuff. So I have put the backing on the frame, and I put the little piece that had the 2 women on it. I covered that up and put that in the frame. Alright, so these are the pieces that I have cut out. I got 3 birds, and I think I ordered from Wish one time to see what it was like. And I got most everything I ordered, and most everything I ordered was crap. But I did get these birds. Either that or my girlfriend Laurel sent them to me. I am not sure which. Then these are just some trees, or bushes, whichever way you want. That's just a piece. I've got the frame and the girl. This I cut out of the cover, and this leaf I cut out of the cover. And I have a little fence. I think this is Elizabeth Craft's little fence, and it's out of those little tickets. Okay, so, and it has a few little butterflies that are there as well. So, I like that, kind of a frame on a frame. Yeah, okay, so now let's see. You know, we could just make a really nice shadow box. So I need some scrap chipboard. Actually, let me get a little bit better piece. Hold on one sec. Because that one is probably large enough I could do a nice sign with it, so I don't want to use that one. Okay. Put my microphone back on so I'm a little more constant. Okay, so let's build this up just a little bit. And I want my timmies for this. I'm just going to cut myself some, about an 1/8 inch. Alright, let's see where we're at. Because I think I want this pretty high up, you know, closer to the front. So, let's build these up. There's one. Okay. And this is on 2 pieces of cardstock, so it is pretty sturdy itself. So I don't really think I need to do 3 of these build-ups. I think just 2 of them will be fine. I love making these dioramas or shadow boxes, whatever you call it. And I'm always on the lookout for tiny things. Anything tiny. Because you never know what the mood's going to strike and that you want that particular thing. But, you know, like, everything. Cups, saucers, forks and spoons, baby dolls, furniture, teapots. I mean, you know, butterflies, birds, anything teeny. Little people, little presents. You know, a lot of it you can make yourself. But it is just kind of nicer to not have to make it. There's a lady down the street that has her own little rummage shop. And I have yet to actually pay for anything I've gotten there, because I usually bring things over to her and then look around and find something. She goes, okay, that's a good trade. I'm like, oh, alright, if you're happy, I'm happy. And she said she loves people, and it just kind of, we haven't been there recently, but she just loves doing it, and she gets first grabs at everything, and doesn't really bother her, she's not making any money. She just enjoys doing it, so I thought that was pretty neat. Alright, let's see where this brings me. I think my son is home. No, I think I want it built up, and I think I am going to build up, since I'm going to build it up some more. So I'm going to go say hello to my son, and I'm going to build this up probably 2 more on the ends, and I'm going to